Live from Owings Mills, Maryland, it's the Max Fortune Show. Whether it's becoming a success by achieving your dreams and goals, growing your business, or unlocking your full potential, the Max Fortune Show specializes in helping you maximize your fortune. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Max Fortune Show.
Hello, everybody. I'm Max Fortune, and it's gonna happen. Welcome to the Max Fortune Show, and we are live.
We are live.
Live so where it's at. And so when you're live, you know, you just never know. Again, I'm Max Fortune. I am, again, want to welcome to the show. I'm an author, publisher, a book coach, and CEO of Fortune Publishing Group. And as always, I have my co-host with me, Joe Farina, who is the director of sales and marketing here at Fortune Publishing Group. And Joe's also an entrepreneur who's owned multiple businesses, both online and offline, and the retail. And he's also a personal development specialist who has had his work published both in book and magazine form.
And I'm also an all-around swell guy, Max.
You know what? I'm going to agree with that.
Got it.
And we also have a special guest here today with us, Scott Speddon. And Scott is a family man with a wife and a daughter, and he's also an entrepreneur. He was born in Maryland, right?
Yes, sir.
And
Owens Mills.
Owens, really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so you know the area.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. And he likes to be involved with the local community.
Absolutely.
And enjoys meeting new people. Now, Scott owns Farmers Insurance Agency, and that's also located in Columbia, Maryland.
That's correct.
But services all of Maryland and Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
And says that you'd like to meet with clients and potential clients in person so that you can get to know them, learn about their needs, and offer them proper insurance and financial services.
Correct.
So we're going to ask you if you have any financial questions or any insurance questions, feel free to reach out to Scott. Again, he's willing to review policies even if they're not a farmer's policy with farmers, correct?
Correct.
All right. He also believes in helping people so that they feel comfortable with their insurance. And if you would like help with your home, auto, life, business, or guess what, pet insurance.
Yes, sir. Wow. We can do some pet insurance. That's good
yes,
stuff.
as well as financial services. He's the guy to call. He can definitely help you. So.
And as always, the Max Fortune Show is recorded live. We are live right now. And the show, we've got calls coming in from viewers and listeners. We welcome that. We welcome you to comment on our Facebook page. And if you have any questions, you can post them online. We'll get them right on our feed right here. And you can join the conversation. How fun is that? And the way to do that is to call 844-417-4177. And I like to use extension 1902. And that way you can talk to either me, Max, or Scott, our wonderful guest.
There you go. So, you know what, let's get into today's topic. Today we're actually going to be focused on, this is our segment of Get Rich in Your Niche, where we focus on talking about small business owners and getting small business owners tips on how to grow and market their business. And so today we're going to be talking to Scott about insurance, and honestly we're probably going to relate that into how that goes to your business but also personal.
Sure.
But one of the key focuses of today is how important for your business out there it is to write or have a press release, how to use it. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. But for the beginning, right now, we're going to focus on Scott. And so, Scott, you know what? We're going to start off with just having you tell us a little bit more about it. Kind of said you're a family man.
Sure.
You have a wife and a daughter. So tell us about your family.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. You know, I'm very passionate about family. And so I've been married 10 years now. And I have a 6-year-old daughter. And started a little bit later in life with kids. And happy I did, actually. So devoting a lot of attention to her. She's, if you see me out there, hi Layla, hi Limia, love you guys. But yeah, families is where it's at. I mean, if you focus on your family, you put a lot of attention with the family, everything else falls into place.
You know,
So yeah, definitely we love to do things. We actually just traveled. We got back from Colorado, first time in the Rockies, and my daughter was on this trampoline bouncy thing. It was like fantastic. She did that. She did a rock climbing. It's almost as if she has no fear. I'll be honest with you. We got on this gondola and went to the top of the mountain, and she and another girl who was a friend of mine's daughter. A couple of families would join together, and man, they're like watching the as we're going way up in the sky. They're watching at the bottom and loving it, laughing and having a good time. I'm loving the family time. My wife was good. Me and the other guy were just like holding on to each other. Like, I hope this thing doesn't fall. But no, it's good stuff, man. I love the family. Love the family. So.
I got a question for you.
Sure, please.
Childhood hero and why?
Childhood hero.
Yeah.
So, for me, it's Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone. When it comes to an actor, if you will, all right. So Stallone, why? He's kind of like the guy's guy. He's always out there trying to, I guess, save the world, if you will. And I don't know, he's just kind of a role model I always looked up to. Now, outside of that, Joe, it would probably be one of my teachers from high school. And Gene, if you're watching this is for you, buddy. He ended up talking to me. We had a great time. He got me excelled into a higher level where I guess maybe I belonged. I don't know. Bottom line is, I trusted him that he knew what he's doing. Fantastic. I think it was maybe his first year teaching, second year teaching.
Wow.
He's a childhood hero. Love him to death. Still communicate with him on Facebook, and I believe he's now a dean at a school down south. So I apologize, I don't remember the exact school, but childhood hero. He actually inspired me to get my teaching degree. So I have an education degree. I kind of owe part of that toward, to him. So thanks for asking.
Sure. Wow.
Well, you know what? As far as insurance, there's lots of different insurance agents out there, or even insurance providers.
Sure.
As far as that, and you know what? I find that insurance is kind of one of those fields that people don't really fully understand.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you can go into what kind of separates you from other insurance providers, what extra advantage or edge do you provide with the services or the services that you can provide?
Yeah, sure, definitely. So, I'd love to tell you, first of all, that I'm a big fan of a lot of insurance companies, and the commercials are like super awesome. I am partial, obviously, to where I work. However, what separates me personally versus somebody else? Well, I mean, I really like to dig in and find out what's important to the client. So if somebody would like to have a nice in-depth conversation, I can find out a little bit more about the person, get to know them on a personal level, find out what their actual needs are. So for me, it's more about meeting with somebody, find out exactly what they may need, and try to help them put them into that specific need. So I guess that's kind of, if that answers your question, what separates me amongst my peers or colleagues. I would say I love that inner personal connection and be able to help somebody the best that I possibly can. So.
Now, where does your business, where are you allowed to practice with your insurance, I guess, and sell insurance?
Yeah, great question, Joe. So for me, I'm able to, I have my license in both Maryland and Virginia. So anywhere in Maryland or Virginia. Now, granted, my office is in Columbia, so I do kind of focus a little bit on that area. However, I do have a lot of friends and family, colleagues, and customers in general that are going to be anywhere in Maryland or Virginia. So I'm not really bound by a certain territory per se. But if anybody in Maryland or Virginia needs some help, absolutely, love to.
Great. Okay.
Yep, perfect.
So tell us, Scott, what type of auto and home policies really can you write for people?
Yeah, sure. So with through Farmers, what I do is I help people with their personal auto. I help them with their personal home. Also, if somebody has a vacant home or a seasonal home or builder's risk per se, these are certain aspects of home and auto that I can help people with. Commercial lines where there's a commercial auto, okay. I can definitely help and give guidance, but it's all a matter of gaining all the information from the customer or potential client and find out what we can do for them. So.
Good.
Now, you and I met at a networking event.
We absolutely did.
So I think a great question to ask you is, where do you see the value in networking?
Sure, Joe, another great question, and I'm going to tell you where I see the value, and then maybe you can kind of elaborate on where you see the value, because obviously, since we both met at a networking event, we both see some kind of value there.
Right.
However, for me, what I do is I love to build connections. So, Joe, whether it's with somebody that's in a similar industry or somebody outside of my industry, For me, it's imperative. It's imperative. So Max, if I met you at a networking as well,
Of course.
and the bottom line is you're building a wide range of connections in order to be able to expand your knowledge to other people. So for me, I guess it's more about building the connections to relationships, and as far as how does that help my business. It helps because the networking group becomes kind of like an extended sales force.
Right.
So I'm not paying the people at the networking group to promote me or my product. However, if somebody is also in the need for insurance, the next time somebody brings it up to somebody I network with, my name may come up, and that's kind of the idea, is to pay it forward. So at the same token, what I like to do is help the people that I've met through networking, and also offer, their name, their information, and token. So how about yourself, Joe? What do you see as the benefit of networking?
Well, I think we're seeing it right now. You just said all three of us met through networking. And I think that's one of the coolest things, I think, about getting out there and meeting people.
Sure.
And expanding your circle of influence, and
Mm-hmm.
being able to build new bridges and create new connections, because you just never know where that's going to lead.
Sure.
And
That's
I think-
exciting.
Yeah, and I think the important thing about networking is I think so many business owners are, your sphere of influence is just that, but being able to leverage other people's networks and sphere of influence is a way to grow your business
Sure.
and expand on whatever your business is. So network should be a critical element of whatever you're doing when it comes to growing your business. Networking should be part of it. And I think with networking, there's a value to meeting with people in person and that face-to-face contact, and really kind of getting comfortable with people. So talk to me about why do you like meeting with people in person?
Sure, absolutely. So Max, and hopefully this will help the audience. If you are by chance in the job market, I'll give you a personal story. So my father is a great guy, another childhood hero, I guess, if you will. Fantastic, love him to death. And he was affected by the economy, and he owned his own business, another entrepreneur. And unfortunately, when that business went, I guess, belly up, for whatever the right term would be, I apologize. He had to get himself back out into the field. And what he was used to is he would fill out an application and send it in, or maybe go into a store, fill it out, and send it in and walk away. Today's society, it's the more people that you connect with on a personal level, face to face, the better off it's going to be, rather than going online and filling out an online application and hoping for the best. The more you network, and network could be as simple as going in and meeting somebody that works in a certain location because you're interested in working at that location. So I helped them to, I guess I kind of explain and difference between maybe old school and now, I don't know. I think the whole basis behind going in and meeting somebody face to face is they're going to know who you are.
Right.
They're going to understand a little bit more about you. They get to know you a little bit more personally, and then they're more apt to want to help you. I know I've obtained a couple of jobs in my lifetime, my career, because of that.
Yeah.
And what happened was somebody introduced me to a manager of a certain location, and I was able to connect and get into a job or position. So how does that correlate to networking and wanting to meet somebody face to face? You get to know that person personally, and you want to help them.
Yeah.
So, and one more quick thing. So, in my business, I definitely believe in the power of networking. And I'm trying to help my team understand the significance of that. So not everybody understands how powerful networking really is, but case in point, Joe, you mentioned it. The three of us are here. We all met each other through some kind of networking, correct?
Yeah.
So, and now we're here together in front of a panel, and we're excited. I'm excited. I know, Joe, you're always excited. Max, you're always looking sharp and excited. So, it's just a matter of building those relationships
Right.
and see where it goes from there. So I like the interpersonal
Yeah,
piece.
no, I think that's awesome.
Scott, what are your goals in regards to business? Do you have one overriding one over all of them?
So goals in business, right now I'm looking to, honestly my number one goal is to help people. I don't know if that's going to sound cliche or not. I have my background in education. I was a manager at a retail location, and now in insurance. And each one of those places, it was all about helping people. So my number one goal is to help people. From that, I'd like to expand and grow my business, okay? You know, of course, I like to make as much money as possible, but at the same time, it's not all about the money. It's about how are you interacting with your clients, how are you interacting with potential customers, and being able to help people. So my number one goal, honestly, is to help people. Second goal would probably be to expand my network and my business, and you know, just see where it goes from there. I'd like to open a second location, and maybe in the near future a third location.
Oh, that's exciting.
So
Good,
absolutely.
good. Yeah.
You know what I want to do is just remind people that we actually do the show live every Thursday from 2 to 3. And so we actually welcome your comments. So right now we can actually see if you have comments or questions for Scott, for Joe, or myself. Just go to facebook.com /AskMaxFortune or @AskMaxFortune. Subscribe, like that page, and send us a comment. Comment on the show. If you have questions about insurance, maybe you have, maybe you need some coverage, or maybe you're, again, as we get into our topic about press releases and how to grow your business that way, again, we definitely welcome the comments. Or if you just want to call in, if you're a person that just likes to call in really quick, that number again is...
Hey, you can join the conversation at 844-417-4177, extension 1902. You got it.
1902.
Yeah.
Just so quick.
There you go.
So listen, I just wanted to invite people out there. Definitely, we love the calls. We definitely love for you to call in, and I'm sure you wouldn't mind asking questions, answering any questions, or again, we like to do that every week. And you know what I hear as we've been doing this show, a lot of people kind of calling in and watching in. But, you know, we always like it when you call in. Tell them what people get when they call in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good,
Your
good.
favorite part.
I know. Well, you know, I'm so excited to have Scott here that you know, it trumped the vacation destinations. So, to one of our interactive callers today, we are going to give, this is so exciting for me, we are going to give 3 exciting days, 2 fun-filled night vacation voucher to a whole bunch of different destinations that you can choose from. And that goes out to the best caller or interactor with our show today. So get out there, get on, send us a message, call in, and you could be the next winner of our 3 exciting days, 2 fun-filled nights, vacation voucher, compliments of the Max Fortune Show.
There you go.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah, you got Scott.
You know,
you got me all. You threw me off my game. I was so excited to have you here. We're asking questions, and you made me forget about the vacation.
Hey, that's a good thing.
That's good stuff.
That is good stuff. Even better is the vacation.
There you go.
Yeah.
Give us a call.
See, he just went to Colorado, so you
Yeah.
can join him.
Yeah.
Get some destination out there. This is my marker now. I don't know.
Sorry about that.
It's a multi-purpose vacation voucher.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. But you know what I wanted to ask you next was
Sure.
as far as becoming a business owner. We talked to lots of people who want to become business owners, people who are already in business, and so I kind of want to know what you feel like it takes to become a business owner through your eyes. Like, what do you see, or what do you see as the most important things?
So I'll be honest with you, when you become a business owner, there's certain things that I learned. I kind of learned, I don't know if I want to say the hard way or however that worked out. And not a bad way, by the way, but I went from working my typical W-2 job where I was working for a corporation, and it's not a bad thing. You know, you have a guaranteed income coming in no matter, you know, what happens. And one day I woke up and I said, you know, talking with my wife, family man again. So we're talking about it, and I said, I'm not really being able to spend as much time with my family because my schedule is kind of all over the place. What kind of things can I do in order to have more of that family time? Or if I want to take off work to go see my daughter play softball or gymnastics or dance or whatever it is that she gets involved in, or even if I want to get involved in something, what can I do to have something a little bit more steady time frame or maybe even more flexibility?
Gotcha.
So from that, I looked at a wide range of things, and what came up for me was insurance. For me, that was a kind of I guess a culmination of being able to manage myself and my business, which I was used to, and being able to help people. So what you need is just a little bit of drive, okay? For me, the drive was family. That's what kind of drove me over the edge of retail and get into owning my own business. So one thing that I learned is once you own your own business, you don't have that W-2 anymore. So you're not stuck or capped necessarily at earning whatever it may be, $20,000 a year, $40,000 a year, $60,000 a year, $100,000, whatever it may be, right? Now you have no cap because you own your own business, and the harder that you work, the more that it's going to pay off, right? But at the same token, you can have that family time. You can be with your family, you can take time off, you're the boss, you're the owner, you have your own deal, and as long as you have everything lined up for when you are away, then there's no issue. So for me, I would say, what does it take? A little bit of drive, and then doing a little bit of research. I mean, honestly, I researched several companies and realized where I wanted to be, what was going to be the best fit for me. But you got to have that drive, and if you ever have any questions on how to open a business, I'll tell you, there's books on that. Max, you might even have a book on that.
I do.
But you know, that's a good segue if you want to tell them what the book is. But
you know what I say, if you wanted to get rich in your niche, it actually shows you how to grow that business, and even doesn't focus so much on starting that business. But you mentioned something as drive, and as important as drive is in perseverance, and we talk about that a lot on the show, as far as that has to be like a main ingredient. If you're not self-driven, and you got to be self-driven, because a lot of times what happens is your boss is not, you don't have a boss anymore, so now you have to wake yourself up, you have to make sure you go to work. So that's if you don't have that, if that's not in you, and that's, it's not in everybody does not have the ability to really kind of govern themselves or push themselves. But one thing also that you mentioned was the importance of having that motivation, and you said it's family for you.
Sure.
It's also the same thing for me, and the things that I want to provide, and a lot of times it can also be wanting to give something different than what you got, it's lots of reasons. Everyone has their motivation as to what their why is. I think we talked about a why.
We had a show.
Yeah, we did. We
did
talked
the
about
show on the why.
and that importance of that. But again, it's really, I can't say how critical it is to know what your why is to get in the business.
one of the big things too is risk versus reward. There's a lot of people out there that play the lottery, right? I don't know if you guys play the lottery.
No.
Right? So I tell people, man, I'd love to win the lottery. I'd love to win $1 million, but you know what? I probably will never win because I don't play. Now, how does that play into this? I would say you've got to be willing to take a risk. So if you're going to spend a lot of time, effort, and money on certain things that aren't really helping you move forward in your life, then sit down and reevaluate. Talk with some people, network. Get out and network with some people. In some of these networking groups that we belong to, there are people that don't have a job. They're out there looking to see what is going to be the next best thing for them, for themselves. So go out to a networking event, go meet some people, and then talk to them. Talk to them about how do they get into whatever field you're thinking about, and what drove their success. But for me, again, family. But you got to be willing to take a little bit of a risk. That's an entrepreneur. You got to, if you want to open your own business and be an entrepreneur, I tell you what. Think about some of the people that have made big bucks. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Cocktail, and hopefully Tom Cruise, you don't mind me mentioning this, but in that movie, and I love to quote movie lines, by the way, they were talking about how, what was it, the little umbrellas, right?
Oh, they're going to drinks?
Yeah, think about that. The little umbrellas to go in drinks. Who created that? That's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That person's probably sitting on a beach, sipping on a drink with an umbrella in it, thinking, man, I made millions. Another one was the guy, also from Cocktail reference, was the guy who made the little plastic pieces to go on a shoelace. And they made fun of that. He and Elizabeth Shue, they're like, so what is that person's name's probably like Flugelbinder. Who knows? But the bottom line is, you can be that next person. So,
yeah. So, yeah, you just never know. You just never know.
No. Scott, given your plethora of knowledge in business, if you could pick one word to describe the #1 key to success in business, what would that one word be? You might have already said it, but I'd like to hear it again.
I would say the key word would be drive. Drive. You can correlate drive to willpower, but I'd say that's huge. Man, there's no one word I can give you. I'm sorry, Joe. Drive, network, family, but excuse me. There's a little gnat flying around. But yeah, I mean, I'd say one word in my mind comes to drive. So how about yourself?
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think whatever drives you
Sure.
to where you want to go, it's that internal thing that pops you up at 2 a.m. when everybody else is sleeping.
Yeah.
You know, so good stuff.
Definitely. And you know, we'd like to say thanks for all the people who are sharing this video right now as it's going live. Again, we do want to welcome you to join the conversation, call, and we're going to kind of start getting into the meat of our subject today. And what we try to do
is a press release?
What is a press release? And you know what? I think a lot of people may think that press releases are ineffective in today's world. But you know, we're going to talk about that today. And what I do want to say, what we try to do every week is if you're a business owner, when we do, actually it's every week we try to bring something, but when we do the Get Rich in Your Niche segment, we try to focus on things that can help your business grow, things that you may be doing, maybe things that you have questions about, but more importantly, things that maybe you didn't think about, and you might be able to learn a little bit of information about a press release, what it is. And so that's what we're going to do today.
I like to say we're a value-driven show.
You know what? I like that.
I like that. I believe in that.
So, yeah, value.
Well, thank you.
Value.
Absolutely.
And listen, what we try to do is bring value every week, and so we're just asking for one thing in return. And what is that one thing? We're asking them to like us. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube channel. The producer's yelling, call.
Give us a call. Give us a call. Let's talk.
So, yeah, we love the call. So, again, so we do want to do this. So let's get into a press release. And I'm going to read some of the notes I have because I want to make sure I get this right so that you get all the information you need. And what goes into is a press release is a written communication reporting specific but brief information about an event, a circumstance, or other happening typically tied to a business or organization. So they should be written in the third person, not in the first person. And the main purpose of a press release is to promote something specific like an event, an accomplishment, or significant change or happening. So do you guys do much in the way of that, in the way of press releases? Do you guys do any of that in the way of at Farmers?
So Farmers themselves, I mean, yeah, Farmers does. I have not specifically maybe put anything out as a press release per se, but you know, I think it's good if you have a live example of maybe a press release that you can think of. I know you deal with this as part of the program.
Yeah. So a press release could be, let's say you're
You write your book.
and you're ready to promote that book, or even if it's a new product or whatever, a new service, or let's just say you're having a networking event or
Sure.
you're having a specific event. I know that you have something unique that you kind of talk about, which is the pet insurance. And let's say you
Sure.
wrote a press release about pet insurance, and you want to let people know because it's something that most people don't know about, they don't think about. I mean, I didn't know about it until I talked to you about it.
That's right.
So it's like, it's something that a lot of people don't think about. So that's like a great way to say, hey, I'm going to put out a press release about pet insurance, release it out to the media, and people who might not have come across
Sure.
the need for pet insurance, they do that. So that's kind of how you relate that into your business, whatever that may be. Again, a press release is a form that you do when you're trying to let somebody know about a specific event or product or service that you're promoting, and you promote it to the press. So it really serves three marketing purposes. And the first thing is to let the media know about an event in hopes that it'll pass the information along to other events or other places that post events. The other thing is to let the media know your business, about your business, in hopes a reporter will see the story and the press release and write an actual news article about it. So again,
Yeah.
especially something unique as pet insurance,
Sure.
doing a press release, putting it out there about your business, there's the press is always looking for a good story. I mean, that's really what they're around for. And they may come and interview you and talk to you about pet insurance, and then next thing they're printing that in their paper, and their whole audience is getting that paper. So that's how you can kind of relate it back to your business and how you can actually use it to grow your business. And what I do want to say, a lot of these techniques that we talk about are in this book, and so you can get this book. Hopefully, I don't know if I'm pressing the right one. I can't see the camera. It's one of these or one of these. Is it the right one? Okay, I got to see the delay. Okay, there we go. I'm pressing the right one. It's right here. Okay. I don't know.
Live.
Yeah. What can you say? So the third thing,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I would just say the third thing and then let you hop in there.
Sure.
So the third thing with a press release is to help you promote your business and appearance on the internet. Again, internet is how most people find business today. And so it's a really great way that you can direct readership through
possible medium that you can, and a press release is just another tool to reach those individuals out there that you are looking to serve, to provide value. And I've always approached that marketing aspect of it's our job to figure out how to get out there to those people who need us.
Sure.
That's our job to solve, not theirs to find us. It's us. It's our job to go out there and help them find where we're at and connect to how we can help them. And a press release is just another way. It's just another tool in the toolbox.
So something that, and that's true. So it is another tool in the toolbox. And another thing that drives success and which helped me to become more successful is absolutely that, Joe, is there's not one avenue that is going to be a catch-all. You've got to try a lot of different avenues. Press release is absolutely one of those avenues. So it is in the toolbox, and you got to make sure that you are trying several avenues, whether it be, press release definitely is one, networking, whatever's going to drive that success, the internal motivation, and then looking for other ways to reach out to an audience, maybe even a radio show.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
a good way.
So call Max Fortune and find out if the right segment comes up, and maybe he can bring in some more guests. That would be fantastic to support the show.
And again, for everybody out there, one of our lucky callers or show interactors, as I like to call them, is going to win 3 exciting days, 2 fun-filled nights to a multitude of different destinations, compliments of the Max Fortune Show. So we invite you to interact with us. We are here to serve you, and we are here to help you get to where you want to go. So help us help you by reaching out.
I agree. And so, as we're talking about press releases today and the importance of that, I think it's something that people are not prone to just using automatically. A lot of times people just don't use it today. So that's kind of why we're taking some time to focus on promoting using a press release. A lot of times, it's something that you say all the time when people are zigging you zag, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So again, this is kind of a unique way, a way that still works, it's effective, and it's a way that a lot of people are moving away from, but you can kind of grow your business doing that.
That's where the
You know what I mean?
opportunities usually lie, when the herd is going one way, and you want to separate yourself from the crowd. When you're marketing to reach the public, I've always felt that you want to separate yourself, and when everybody's going one way, you go the other way, and you automatically separate yourself. Your message is getting out there clear because you're one of the only ones shouting from that medium.
I have to agree with you there. So we're going to talk about a little bit more, get in depth in a little bit more of some of the ways to structure a press release. And timing is one of the things that you want to always start a press release with for immediate release is one of the things that you want to put out there. And you know what, I do want to say that if you do have questions even after the show, I definitely we welcome the calls even off the show. Or you can email us at maxfortuneshow@gmail. If you have questions about kind of putting a press release together for you, we definitely would love to still help you. You might be watching the show as a replay, maybe not watching it today live while we're filming this, and you might still say, well, they still take a question, and the answer is yes, especially if you send it by email.
And Max, I want to touch on something real quick. Sometimes in business, outsourcing is the best thing that we can do.
Yeah, I agree.
Is if we're going to get stuck, whether it's a press release or some other marketing platform, sometimes it's best to get information on what it would cost to actually go out there and have someone else who's a professional at that put that together to get it done.
I agree, and I think as a business, you want to focus on the things that you're good at,
Right.
The things that you do well, and really hire people to do the other things, because it just takes away, if and when you can. And I always say, really successful business has to have one of 2 commodities. That's either time or money. So again, if you're, I talk to a lot of people. A lot of times, people may feel like they don't have enough money to do this or do that, and so if you don't have money, you can still be successful in business. You just have to leverage your time. Be willing to leverage your time. I think the other thing that you mentioned, I think when people first think about starting a business or being a small business owner, they think about time freedom, and you usually lose time before you get time.
That's true.
And so you got to have that expectation met where you're not saying, hey, I'm going to start my business today, and tomorrow I'm going to take off for 2 weeks or whatever and hope that it's going to run. It doesn't really work like that. It takes a while to build up momentum in a way where you can actually take some time off in the business. And a lot of times you're trading that 40-hour week for really 60 or 80-hour week. And if you have that kind of stamina, then definitely being a small business owner. But you know what? Hopefully you're doing something that you love to do. And so it replaces work at that point in time. So it's not necessarily work all the time, or it shouldn't. And if it feels like work, you might want to reconsider what that business is. So that's the other thing that I'd like to put out there, that a lot of times, even for me, myself, what I do, I don't feel like, I put lots of hours in, but it doesn't feel like work all the time.
You know, you're absolutely right. I'll be honest with you. So we're talking about finding your niche. I'm happy I found my niche because, again, I love to help people, but Max is absolutely right. You've got to put in the time. So you got to have that drive. You got to put in that time. There's got to be results, but don't expect immediate results. The moment you expect immediate results, you're going to find out quickly that it doesn't quite work, unfortunately. So one of the things about networking, if you don't mind, is some people make a comment that I've tried networking, it doesn't work. And I ask, well, what did you do? And they said, well, I went to 2 meetings and I got nothing out of it. Well, the reason why you got nothing out of it is you got to put time into it. So time. So it's either time or money, which I agree with and I subscribe to. So for me, I put in the time. And, as a result, down the line, I am able to take some of these trips. I can take some time off. But then it's another big piece of owning your business, depending on what kind of business you're going to own. Whether it's something you're going to do individually or if you're going to hire people. But if you hire people, you want to make sure that you hire them to your weaknesses and make sure you teach and train them what exactly you want your vision or your goal to be within that organization, within the one that you created, in order to make it successful. So definitely putting in the right amount of time and the efforts. So you can't just rely on 1 or 2 meetings. You can't rely on 1 or 2 months. You've got to put in the time. So I agree with that, Max. It's a good point.
Yeah, it's just sometimes, I often say that the way to avoid disappointment is to adjust your expectations. So if you kind of go in with the right expectations, you don't get disappointed. So small business or being a business owner is not for everybody, and
that's okay.
Yeah, and that is okay.
That is okay. I had no ambition early in life to ever own my own business, and mainly because I didn't understand it, and I thought it was just too hard. I'll be honest with you, it's not that hard. You just have to have the drive. You got to study, you got to research, you got to network, talk to the right people, and you'll figure it out. Yeah. Okay, there's a lot of people out there that own businesses that can help guide you the right way. If you're interested in insurance, you can give me a call. And as soon as Max gives me the okay, I'll give you my business phone number.
You got the okay. Go ahead and give it that.
So my business phone number, if you'd like to give me a call, is 443-718-9824. And again, my name is Scott Speddon with Farmers Insurance, and I can guide you down, a path. And you can let me know what exactly you're looking for, and I can kind of guide and help. But be willing to put in the time, have the drive, the motivation.
I think it's important stuff.
I agree.
So, we're going to, as we move on, as we're talking about this press release, and I want to talk about when is a good time to consider using press release. You kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier. We talked about a couple of different ways. So I'm going to go over a short list of some ideas that may jog you as far as whether or not you should be using a press release, or you can, and or when you should want to, or you should desire to use one. And so what you do when you want to consider using a press release, when you want to create marketplace excitement out there in the market. When you have a new market or a new product rather you want to bring to the market quickly, press release is one of the ways that you want to do that. So if you want to promote products and or reposition your products right now, that's also another reason why you would want to consider doing a press release. Brand and rebrand. Also celebrating special occasions. If you have a special occasion, something, an anniversary is happening in your business, some kind of benchmark, it's also a great time to put out a press release. If you want to maintain market leadership, that's also critical. It's huge to continue to do that. You just mentioned branding, and so building your corporate brand through marketing events is definitely a way to do that if you want to stay top of mind among your consumers and customers. You definitely want to continue to do press releases. Again, you just want to make sure that they are newsworthy and they really arouse customer interest and also curiosity. So that's really important. And you know, it's always a good thing to never be afraid to be creative and innovative. You know, so those things are always good when it comes to reaching out. And again, the hope is that as you're releasing this out to the press, that someone finds it newsworthy enough to take that story to the next level and do a story on you, bring you onto, it could be, it doesn't always have to be print media, it could be a show like this, or it could be a blog. There's all kinds of different mediums out there, and that maybe your product or service serves a niche or a audience that somebody sees the benefit of it. So,
you know, one thing that Joe had mentioned is, you know, if going away from the masses, so to speak, if other people are kind of moving a little bit away from the press release and you move into it, then guess what? You're going to get more exposure.
Yeah.
So if other people are not taking that exposure, especially in the field to where you work, then that press release is only going to give you even dividends, even higher dividends, I guess, if you will. So definitely, it's a great medium, and depending on what the right niche or what the right timing is, the who, where, what, when, and why, you know.
So, you know, many companies, nonprofits and PR agencies utilize paid subscriptions. So I mentioned earlier that, yes, there are free services out there that you can do, but there are also paid subscription services. And if you have the ability to invest a little bit into some paid subscription services like Business Wire or just Google press release services, some of them are very affordable, and they do range the gamut, but you can actually get even more extended reach for your press release when you're willing to put a little bit of money behind it, and look at it as part of your marketing budget like you would do anything else, and to really put a couple of dollars behind it and see how that takes you, or see where that takes you. So I have a short list of, it's not really short, it's kind of middle.
Yeah, that's
It's a list on
check it.
14 practical ways that you can get media attention.
It's a
from your
short
press release.
14 list.
Yeah,
It's a short
short
14
summary.
list, okay?
Yeah.
So on some lists that's short, some that's
Yeah.
long, okay? I think it's a medium list. How about that?
Alright.
Let's say it's a medium
It's
list.
only
not
medium
short.
because it's big print, that's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, you know, there you go. So, you know, one of the first things you want to do is determine why you're sending out news. So this is some tips and pointers on how to go viral, have your press release go viral. So one of those things you want to first determine whether why you're sending out the news. You do want to do some basic research on what you're doing or what you're promoting. You want to kind of not promote subdomains if you can avoid that.
You want to explain that one?
You know what, subdomain is, let's say, well, we have askmaxfortune.com, but let's say you have a subdomain, which is, we have a subdomain. It's bookcoaching.askmaxfortune.com. So if there's
I
like
know
a
what a
dot com.
subdomain
Right,
is.
so
I'm
a subdomain is a domain. That's
Somebody
not
out
the
there
main
might
domain.
not.
Right, you know, that's a good point. You put me.
I'm
on the
looking to
spot there.
provide extra value.
There you go. Okay, I wasn't prepared for that. So yes, as far as a subdomain, it's a domain that's not part of the main domain, but it's another domain. So we'll come back and we'll circle back to that.
All right.
We'll go that in greater detail. Maybe that's be another show on here for doing that, and press enter maybe. Creating a content schedule. Being personal is also really important when it comes to your press release. Being the first person to being first. So that's always a good thing. And then also staying on top of what other bloggers are saying is critical. And staying in control of what you blog or in your blog, and making it easy for your readers is also something that's really important when it comes to going viral. You want to don't try to please everyone. You want to kind of stick with your niche, stay where you're strong in, and you also want to be sure to create a press room or news page on your website or a product portfolio. And then finally, I would say don't get discouraged. Try different things, try different methodologies to see what's going to work best or what's going to work for your business, and I would go from there. So. Anyway, had a couple more things. As we're wrapping up the show, you want to talk about how to get found on the internet or something, or how the
Sure. Sure, I would like to comment real quick on the don't try to please everyone. I think there's a saying out there that says if you try to please everyone, you please no one. And I think it's important to add on to the press release. I know I had to learn this very early on in business. It was something that I had to really think about. Think about from who I'm trying to reach from their eyes, what they need. I think sometimes in business when you're starting out, especially new business, it's all about my business, I'm starting my business, and you're focused on getting your business out there. But at the end of the day, we're serving a customer.
Right.
And so really at the end of the day, we're writing it for them. We're doing the work for them. And we're reaching those individuals. And so I think it makes it a little bit easier when you're doing a press release, why to do one, what to write in there. You write it from the customer's eyes. Who are you speaking to? And when they read that, see that, watch that, how is that providing that value again? To where they look at that and go, out of all of the different businesses out there, I want to know more about this business.
No, I agree.
And really be a champion. So I think that's always in the back of my mind. I know for me, in the back of my mind, and I know it is for you, and I know it is for you, Scott, is everything we do is really in the back of our mind, because as business owners, we're also customers as well. We know that experience. There's a lot of talking heads out there. There's a lot of people that are trying to reach us, and everybody's saying, you know, we're the best, I'm the best, buy from me, do this, do that. And sometimes some of the best ways to approach these things and keep it simple is to look it through the eyes of a customer and how you would want to be treated. It's that old, what's that, kindergarten type of lesson, you know, that treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah. I was reminded of that this
Golden
past year.
rules, they say. The
My
golden
daughter
rule.
was in kindergarten. Now she's
Yeah,
so
golden rules. The golden rules apply.
the golden rule always applies. You're right.
So
Okay.
we're on YouTube. We are on Facebook Live. You can reach us at our phone number at 844-417-4177 to give us a call.
Extension 1902.
Extension 1902 during the show, and outside of the show, you can call, and pretty much 1900, 1901 will actually reach me. 1902 reaches our wonderful show producer.
It's debatable. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. No, she does a fantastic job out there. She does a fantastic, keeps us straight, keeps us in line, keeps everything moving.
Keeps us on our toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, what we're gonna do is we're wrapping up this show. I want to kind of talk about how press releases they just kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Recap what we're talking about as far as press releases.
You want to go back over what we discussed?
That's a recap. Yes.
Yeah.
So they're going to recap.
Recap it.
So a press release helps to improve your brand image, helps you gain worldwide distribution through the internet. It also helps with going viral and helps you get found on the internet. So if you have a business, a service, or something that you're looking to actually promote, an event or a service or anything like that, again, using a press release, try it out, see if it works. Again, in business, you can't just be a one-trick pony. You have to have more than one thing that you're trying, and you want to be able to try multiple different things because every business, every niche has different advantages, or you never know what's going to really work well for your business or work best for your business. So
I just thought of a great idea for another show.
Okay.
Is really talking about having a marketing budget. So often I see a lot of business owners, they don't necessarily earmark funds towards marketing or reaching their customers. It's kind of when something comes up, then they look, can I afford it now? Do I have it? And that kind of creates a lot of confusion. And when you have a budget, then you can really go back and look and really be excited about your press releases and whether or not you're going to do free or whether you can afford within your budget to do some paid press releases and some other marketing campaigns, and it gives you clarity with what you're financially putting out there so you can evaluate your return on your investment instead of what happens is waiting to the last minute, not having a budget, then going, okay, I'm going to have to here, go over here, and then you go over here and you can't advertise because you ran out of budget, then you're forced to look at free stuff, and then you stop looking at free stuff because you get burnout from doing marketing because you went broke enthusiastically doing it.
and you know what?
Don't go broke enthusiastically.
And you know what? I'm going to say the real value in what you just said. I mean, it's so
Pearls of
important.
wisdom, Max.
Yeah, I mean, it really is, pearls of wisdom really is, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I look at so many people start businesses, but having a business is kind of like having a Ferrari in the driveway. But if you don't put any gas in that car, it goes nowhere. So marketing is your gas for your business. So that's the way you kind of want to look at it. You can't just say, hey, I just want to have the nice car. You got to put something in it to make it go, and that's marketing. So that's what we kind of talk about with these shows, is to really kind of bring in a couple of key things that you can try that can help you fuel your business so that you can grow that business and you can continue to move from one destination to the next.
Absolutely. You know, I also look at several different aspects of marketing, so it is another great potential, a great show. But gosh, I mean, anywhere from a press release, right, to a putting a booth outside, to you know, looking at having a little tchotchke things with your name on it. Any kind of marketing avenue. I mean, just not. It shouldn't be a one size fits all. You got to have a budget, like you said. I have a budget. Do I extend that budget? Sometimes I do, but it's for the right cause. But in the meantime, you got to make sure that you do plan that into the whole factor of making sure that you receive, you know, what you pay for. So you got to have that ROI.
Yeah, that return on investment, very, very, very important. I agree with that. And what I do want to say is we have a kind of segmented into some of the other things that we do, as far as do a couple of free webinars. The calls with, you know, it sounds like we have a caller in on the show, so we're going to see what this caller.
We have a caller calling in?
We have a caller calling in.
Here we go.
Caller, hi, you're live on the Max Fortune Show. How can we help you?
Yes, how you doing? My name is Jay, and I just have a few quick questions.
Okay.
Say you have a good job, your credit is okay, it's not the best, but you have a solid strategic plan and a business plan, but you just can't get to the next level. You tried that small business administration, you've hired people to do grant writing, you've been led in so many directions, but to no avail, you haven't seen any results. So
Okay.
what is the next step that you would do if the grant writing doesn't work, the small business administration doesn't want to give you any help, but your strategic and your business plan is a solid plan? Do I reach out to capital ventures next, or do I try to get investors? What should I do?
Okay, that's a great question. And you said it's Bay? Your name?
Zay.
Zay.
Zay. Yes.
Zay. Z-Y. Okay, so Zay, if I can ask you, what type of business do you have?
I don't have a business. I actually still work, but I would love to open up a retail store.
Okay, a retail store. Okay, so with a retail store, you're saying that you've kind of gone the way of getting grants and, or I guess having,
Underfunded. The capital's not there to start the business.
yeah. So
Right. I don't have the capital to start the business.
Okay.
So I was told that you could go down to small business administration and they will lead you in the right direction to different banks that work with small businesses, startup businesses, and also I was also led to talking to people that do grant writing, that you maybe can get a grant to help start your business. But it seems like to no avail. I'm not getting any progress.
You know,
Good,
so
Scott.
One thing I would say, Zay, is have you ever looked into an investor or maybe a partner, someone that may have that capital to help you get started, showing that solid business plan, and then maybe sharing the wealth, so to speak?
Yes, I haven't actually done that yet because I was seeing if I could do it on my own first.
Sure.
But I see that it really won't work because banks won't even mess with me. Well, my credit score isn't, I'm not in the 800s or the high 7s, but I don't have a bad credit score. And my debt to ratio isn't huge to where it's though, but I cannot get a loan.
Zay, right now, the current banking environment right now is not very conducive to startup businesses in the conventional banking sector. They're just not lending the money for startups, unproven business concepts like they may have had in previous years. So it's not just you. That's right now. That's really where the industry is right now as far as lending. And I can kind of speak to a little quick tip that I could give you before we end the show here. When I first started, my first business I started, it took me about a good year and a half to start saving money every month to put aside before I could begin the process to actually start the business. So instead of, I actually, since I was in a position where I was underfunded myself, I couldn't afford to start the business with the budget that I had set that it would take me to start the business. So I took the long view. And I said, okay, it's a great idea. I believe in my idea. How much of my own money can I put aside every month that I might be spending on something else, and start to put that into my business building fund, and then basically borrow the money from myself 2 years later. And so that was just something, it's having the kind of the long view. I know that's when you're in entrepreneur mode, you want to get started right now, and you want to go, and you're looking for grants, looking for this and that. There's also that old fallback, which is taking a portion of your current job's pay, putting it into a bank account that you're not touching specifically to start your business, to fulfill your dream. And that might take a year or two. I know that's not the ideal answer, but that is a great solution to the problem, is to start to learn business skills by earmarking money to start your business, the same skills you're going to need as an entrepreneur, budgeting for purchases and budgeting for your overhead and stuff like that. So that's just another way of doing it as well. That way you maintain total control, and you don't have to give it up to an investor or somebody else who's going to take a percentage of your business.
So Zay, here's the other thing that I want to jump in real quick, because we're kind of coming to the end of the show. But I want to say, first I want to say we really appreciate the call. But I want to throw something else at you, and I want you to think about this for a moment. A lot of times you can start a business online, especially, are you in retail clothing?
Yes.
Okay, so retail clothing. So a lot of times you can actually create an online shop, and you actually just cut your overhead that way, and you actually do not pay out any money until you receive an order. And you can actually find vendors that will actually fulfill orders once you have a customer. And that might be a way to get started, where you can build your customer base, where they're kind of ordering things and you're kind of placing order one at a time. So try to find sources like that out there that can get you started, so you can still kind of operate in your dream or the business that you want to do with retail, but you're just doing kind of like mail order, or as people are ordering, that keeps your overhead down, and you're not stuck with a lot of inventory. And here's the other thing I do want you to do, if you can, send us your information. We'd love to even talk to you off the show. I'd love to personally talk to you, get a little bit more information about it. There's a couple of people I could probably put you in contact with that could probably help you with getting product or getting licenses, or I'd like to just find out a little bit more about your business. So you have this number down, but I'm going to ask you to email your information into maxfortuneshow@gmail.com.
Hold on, let me write that down.
Sure.
Say Max Fortune
Show@gmail.com.
At Gmail.
And you know what? I'm gonna actually transfer you back to the producer. She'll take all your information right now, and I'd love to talk to you off air and get a little bit more information about it, and put you in contact with a couple of people that we probably can refer you to that can help you get going and help you kind of get around some of these things. Does that sound good?
And you know, another one of my biggest fears is that somebody will take my idea, even though it's retail and clothes and everybody puts a spin on all their businesses to get business. I'm just afraid that somebody's going to take it. My idea will leave me and go to somebody else that has the money to do it.
Two things I'll say about that, Zay, real quick. For one, what's for you is for you. And every business has competition, and there's things that you can learn from that. But also, you know, in business, there's always going to be that fear. Every one of us has that fear, that thought or idea. So so definitely don't feel bad about that. But just know that, again, if it's for you, if you have the drive and the motivation to do it, what your dream is, it's uniquely yours. Somebody may try to imitate it, they may try to duplicate it, but it's not going to be the same vision that you personally have. So you have to just believe in your vision, believe in that, and move forward in that without that concern or worry. And know that, you know what, can it happen? Yes, it possibly can happen. But again, there is something special about the way you want to do it. And people aren't going to always have that vision that you have for it. So I definitely would say, hey, stick to your vision. I'm going to transfer you to our producer. She's going to get all your information.
Thanks, Zay, for calling in.
Yeah. So I appreciate it. And when you're ready,
Thanks for listening to me. I appreciate the advice.
Say when you're ready for that business insurance, give me a shout too.
Yeah, that's Scott. Yep.
Have a good one, Zay. All right.
Well, we're wrapping up the show today. Scott, I want to personally thank you for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Great
Definitely,
stuff.
guys. So please continue to tune in every week, Tuesday to Thursday. More importantly, or most importantly, we definitely would like you to like the Ask Max Fortune page on Facebook. Go to the YouTube channel, which is the Max Fortune Show on YouTube. Just put that in the search engine and subscribe. Please subscribe. If you feel like we're bringing you valuable information and you're getting some kind of value out of the show, please, we're just asking you to go there and subscribe.
You're going to be
Takes 2
putting
seconds.
a lot of good stuff on that page, right? I know
Definitely.
you said to me earlier, you said, Joe, I am passionate about providing value on that YouTube channel.
Yes.
And I said, Max, I know you are.
Yeah, well, listen, just go there.
So yeah, if you don't mind, I'm going to say something real quick, and then
Sure.
obviously this is your show, so you close it down. But I do want to say, first of all, Max, outstanding guy. He's very passionate about helping people. So by all means, please reach out to Max. I met Joe, again, networking. Joe's very, what's the right term? Energetic.
Yes.
He's very, what's the word? He's just
I'll
energetic.
go with
awesome,
energetic.
man.
Before you
here's
come up
what
with
it is. So-
something else I might not like to hear.
But,
charismatic.
charismatic, and whichever angle he's on, he's looking good. So, but thank you guys for allowing me to come out here again. Scott Speddon, Farmers Insurance. Phone number 443-718-9824. Thank you for having me out here. It's mspeddon@farmersagent.com if you want to reach out to me. Love to hear from you. Love to help you out. Hopefully I can save you some money, but either way, I'd love to talk with you. So, ever since I was a little kid, I always want to say, hi, Mom. And so there you have it. I made it on the big time. I'm on the show. Let me
Yeah,
in.
that's
Layla, I
right.
love you. Can't wait to see you. Thank you so much, Max. And thank
Well,
you for
listen, we
your time.
definitely thank you for your time, and hopefully, again, all the value you've added to people, and what we try to do is bring value to you. Hopefully, you've learned something, pulled something away that can help you grow your business. And so we look forward to seeing you next week. Next week we have Terry Smith coming on board, an author who has her personal story will definitely touch you. If you've ever struggled with any type of addiction or struggled with any type of overcoming, obstacles you didn't think could overcome, you got to tune into the show next week, next Thursday, 2 to 3 p.m. Again, all I can say is you're going to want to tune in to next week's show. I mean, every week we try to bring in great guests. Scott's been a fantastic guest. You always bring value every time we meet you. You're also, pretty charismatic guy.
I appreciate you giving me the
Very
time.
charismatic.
I appreciate it.
So, thank you very much. That's our show for this week. We'll see you next week. Please subscribe to the
dance real
YouTube
quick
channel.
with
We dance. I'm not going to dance. But okay.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on, guys.
Okay,
All right.
please.
Thank you so much.
You get us out of here. Okay. All right.
Are you-
Okay.
Send us
So thank
out.
you. Yep.
Our wonderful